You can't.
No.
Players, situations, circumstances, coaching, very different. Last year, won the first meeting back on December 11th. As a layup is good. A loss on Thursday to Milwaukee ended a 10-game home winning streak as Serge Ibaka knifes through the paint, lays it up and in.
Well, he struggled for a good part of the game last night. He wasn't himself.
No, he tied a season low with 7 points as Fred VanVleet. Clippers lead by 1. Beverly on the handoff. Gilgeous-Alexander, count it, and the foul. Canadian national team, Mike Malone, he represent Team LeBron, and count it, plus the foul for Leonard.
He found Pascal Siakam in the corner.
Raptors this season with Fred VanVleet starting as Avery Bradley banks it in. Scott on the floor.
Got to be careful with him. Remember, big time with the Atlanta Hawks. He saw the Raptors. He lit the Raptors up.
Including in L.A. And there's VanVleet, the three-pointer. 8 on the glass. Pascal swings it. VanVleet entry pass. Here's Ibaka guarded by Harris. Turns. And a nice baby hook.
Auction to him. He's the guy that can come in and change the game quickly.
Boban Marjanovic checking in. Count it. And the foul.
He can change the game just by virtue of his size. Look at his length right here. He just turns around. He's dropping the ball in the basket. And he's got unbelievable.
Gilgeous-Alexander sends it over to Marjanovic.
Don't get quiet on me now.
Here's Lou Williams. Lays it up and through. There's no one on this team that has more dramatic difference between. Here's CJ, double clutch. 3 is good from East York. Nobody has a dramatic difference in numbers in wins versus losses than Kyle.
He affects his team dramatically. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So is this guy for the Clippers. Luke.
4 minutes and 20 seconds between field goals for the Raptors from the elbow, and DeLon drills it. About 4 in a row. Here's Norm now quickly into the front court. Raptors by 3. CJ got it from Scarborough. Quickly now to right. DeLon driving, spins, shot, good.
That shot is a lot tougher. A difficult task.
Greg Monroe's shot doesn't go. DeLon flying in, taps it in, looks at the bench and says, and one. Here's DeLon on a pull-up, grazes the front of the rim. Lead pass, Patrick Beverly. Count it, and a foul.
Raptors showing a little bit of zone here.
Gilgeous-Alexander back on the court. Here's Harrell right down Bay Street with a slam dunk.
And see, that was a gamble there by Kawhi Leonard when that pass was thrown in. You're playing against pretty much a non-shooter. You don't need to gamble. Play behind him.
Moose with that hammer.
And again, it comes down to some execution. It talks about, knowing where you do, run the floor and spacing properly, screening the right way.
And they become more passive in doing that. And it's not just off of dead balls. You want to try to do it off makes or misses. Makes or misses, get out and run. How about that back-to-back jumpers now for Kawhi?
Back-to-back threes. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander in the and one.
Oh, this kid is good.
Raptors started this second quarter on a 10-0 run. Here's Kawhi.
That's unfair. I mean, Avery Bradley, we talk about his defense, but he cannot guard Kawhi Leonard in the paint. Oh, that's a nice stop right there. Look at that move.
And sticks it. And against Washington, he was 2 of 3 from 3. They had 41 minutes of action in that 140-138 victory. 5, Harrell 6, Beverly 5, Bradley 4. The starting 5, as Kawhi Leonard now has 15. I think he can elevate his game.
I agree. Yeah, that's my point.
To the next, right?
Well, there were a couple times, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a nice pass there from
Harrell. Raptors 3-on-2 break on a pull-up 3, too strong. It's Serge. Great job by the big man. Hustling, running the floor, gets a stop at one end, and the offensive rebound put back on the other.
That's a prime example why coaches don't mind that transition 3. Your guys are coming to the basket, long rebounds coming to you.
And Siakam throws it down. 10-second difference, game clock, shot clock. driving, dumps it off, and Harold the slam dunk. On the season, in January, he averaged close to 16 points, better than 8 rebounds, and inspired play by Gilgeous Alexander. Game high 17. Van Vliet up top. Stops on a dime, and the jumper is good.
Through the defender.
Danny Green drills it.
That's always
Off the miss, Fred. On the take, drive, kick. Oh, Kawhi wide open. Morning shoot around.
not for me, but for our guests.
Exactly. Here's Harris. Good contest.
There you go.
And a nice job by Harris. Fall for Kawhi Leonard. Having a word with Eric Lewis. Beverly now in the paint with a runner. And it rattles around and through. It's 14 in a timeout taken by Nick Nurse. Inclusive of Sean McVay. Went out to Los Angeles and spent some time with him. Siakam with a bucket.
Chill out, watch the game.
There's a neighborhood block party at the Morrisons as
I wouldn't.
and knocked around, scooped up. Shea with it. Harris. Scott on the inside and a tough bucket.
Or two here in the playoffs, a game in the playoffs, but the fact of all this experience these guys are getting is going to pay off.
Bucket by Norman Powell.
Plenty of time to get your rhythm and establish who you want to be going into the playoffs.
Here's Monroe driving.
That's a good move right there. If you get Boban away from the basket, and then Monroe does such a great job of getting into the body on the finish.
Lou in a turnover off the fingertips of Boban. CJ lead pass. DeLon's got a dozen. To OG. Screen set by Monroe. Rolls, ball fake. There you go. Anunoby, great ball fake, and then gets to the rim.
Yeah, Matty, he had that little hesitation as he took that first dribble. Looked like he may pass, may pull up, and then just goes all the way.
Lou. And an and one.
Last night that I thought they should have.
Benches responded. Here's Greg. Monroe drills it. DeLon up top. Benches responded. And after that slow start at the end of the first quarter. And look at DeLon. He's got 14. Only 10 points, shooting 46% from three. DeLon with the length. Picks the pocket of Lou Will. Now finds Powell. And lays it up and in.
Boston's been thrown around in a million rumors.
Yeah.
As have the Raptors, for that matter.
Boban, nice touch by the big man, and it's a 20-point deficit. Here's by 20. Van Vliet on the floor along with Patrick McCall, Miles Monroe at right. And it's an 18-point game with 7:35 to go here in the fourth quarter. Here's CJ, turns, fires, drills it. Starters, no Kyle Lowry, but Kawhi Leonard, 26 minutes. Boucher finishes on the inside. Toronto, McCall sends it back up top to Anunoby. Here's CJ. He's got to fire it, and it's good! Miles from the corner. And they'll slice into the lead of Milwaukee in the East. Chris Boucher soaring through the air. And it rolls off of his foot, scooped back up. And he's going to try to go to work against Boucher.
Tough shot.
Is good for the former Eagle. And it's an 18-point lead with 2:35 left. Here's Lloyd in the paint driving. And Jordan Lloyd heads to the line.
So who are you taking, Matty?
I'd like to see the LA Rams win. There's a foul and doesn't go. Tracked down by CJ, save. And Jordan Lloyd, the three, no. Boucher, offensive glass, good. And Chris Boucher for 6 from the field. After a sluggish appearance at the end of the opening quarter, in the second quarter, certainly they came alive. And the impressive performances by CJ Miles with 15 and DeLon to right with 14.